Welcome again to Newgrange. Now, what we're going to talk about here is not just the monument itself, but the wider landscape that was involved here. And we're joined by Dr. Geraldine Stout from the Archaeological Survey of Ireland. Geraldine, tell me, it wasn't just Newgrange that was important here, was it?
Not at all. Newgrange was really the centre of a whole ceremonial landscape. And over the last 40 years, archaeologists have identified a whole series of monuments that would have been part of the events on the Solstice Day. And you know, even the builders of Newgrange, they were thinking about the pilgrims that came to this site, and they enhanced their experience with a whole range of kind of architectural detail. So we know that Newgrange is one of the few large tombs that have art on the outside. And I think they did that to enhance the experience of the many pilgrims who came to Newgrange. And we know also on the outside of the tomb we have all these exotic stones, these quartz and boulders that came from different parts of the northeast of Ireland and down south into Wicklow. And they were brought by the pilgrims and placed here, probably during the solstice events.
And you also talk about that there's the remains of a large wooden enclosure around here as well.
That's right. In the early 80s, David Sweetman from the Office of Public Works excavated on this site here, just at the entrance to Newgrange, and he found a sequence of very deep pits. And these pits contained the cremated remains of pigs with prehistoric pottery and flint tools. And they were probably placed here as votive offerings on the day of the solstice. And these pits were contained within this very large timber enclosure that, you know, takes up a good part of this field and runs into the other field there. But this is just one of a whole series of these large ceremonial enclosures built for people to gather during the solstice. There's a whole sequence of very large earthen amphitheaters just below Newgrange. There's one just here that incorporates a small mound. And this is a very large earthen bank that was at 100 metres in wide, and people would have gathered in that and had all kinds of ceremonial activities. And also just in front of Newgrange, when Professor Kelly was excavating there, he found this very large dish-like setting, and inside that setting he found flint tools and decorated stones that people would have placed during these ceremonies. So there was a huge amount of activity happening. It was a very social occasion during the solstice.
Yeah, it wasn't just an event for those inside the chamber on the sunrise itself. You say it was actually a site of pilgrimage for everyone around the whole area.
I think it was a major centre of pilgrimage. I think it was the Mecca of the West, Newgrange. We from the archaeological evidence, people from as far north as Antrim, down into County Down, Carlingford, and even as far as Wicklow were coming to this site during this major event. So it wasn't just built for the locals. It was built for a much greater hinterland of pilgrims.